Taywan Taylor, who was in the Tennessee camp until the beginning of the season, then came over here. He's back to receive. Rams won the toss. They have deferred, and away we go from the shores of Lake Erie with a booming kick out of the end zone. Here come the Browns. Here's their offense.
Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma.
Nick Chubb, Georgia.
OBJ, I'm him.
Jarvis Landry, the jungle.
Damian Ratley, Yoakum, Texas.
Demetrius Harris, Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Greg Robinson, Auburn.
Joe Bitonio, Nevada.
J.C. Treader, Cornell.
Eric Kush, California, University of Pennsylvania.
Justin McCray, University of Central Florida.
So they come to the line of scrimmage, the 25 after the touchback. Running back is Nick Chubb.
180.
Off the play fake, rolling out, and the pass is caught at the 33-yard line. And that's Jarvis Landry. Fights his way down the sideline for a gain of 10 and a first down. Baker Mayfield, Heisman Trophy winner 2 years ago at Oklahoma, started his college career at Texas Tech. Last year took over in game 3 through 29 touchdown passes, counting the 2 games this season in his career. This is his 16th consecutive start. That's the longest since Colt McCoy back in 2010 and 11. They've been through dozens of quarterbacks here in Cleveland, as everybody in this town knows. Nick Chubb now on first down goes nowhere. He is wrestled to a stop. Michael Brockers is there after a gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Sean McVay, there he is, got the job at age 30, youngest coach in modern NFL history. Already now in his 3rd year, got them to the playoffs in his first season, took them to the Super Bowl last year, and off to a 2-0 start in 2019.
Hey, 58.
Fakes the inside give, a little pump fake, and the pass is caught on the sideline here by Pharaoh Brown. It'll be 3rd down and 1. There is a flag down, so our first penalty of the game. Sean Smith is the ref.
Ineligible man downfield, offense number 67. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Make it 2nd down and 13.
Justin McCray getting the start tonight because of the injury to Chris Hubbard, and he just really makes the block and thinks the ball is going to be gone by that time in an RPO, but because Baker sort of staggered around and found the open guy, just too far downfield.
Second and 13 from the 31-yard line. Lob pass, it's caught, but next to nothing gained by Chubb, tackled by Taylor Rapp. And let's take a look at that Ramp defense.
Michael Brockers, LSU.
Aaron Donald, Pitt. Clay Matthews, USC.
Corey Littleton, Washington. Dante Fowler Jr., Florida.
Aqib Talib, Kansas. Mikael Roby-Coleman, USC.
Taylor Rapp, Washington.
John Johnson, Boston College.
Eric Weddle, Utah. Marcus Peters, West Oakland, California.
To follow the NFL, those are some well-known cats on that side of the ball. And it's offside. The Rams, you can see on the offense, on the defensive line, a little jumping there. Looked like it might have been Dante Fowler. But they will congregate, and Sean Smith will tell us.
False start, offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Greg Robinson, who was a Ram when he came to the league as the overall number 2 draft choice 6 years ago.
And his former teammate Aaron Donald, 2-time defensive player of the year outside of him, so he's trying to get right off on the snap count. It actually looked like Treader may have been just a half a tick slow because the other offensive linemen were moving as well.
So now they push back to a 3rd and 18 on the opening drive.
McCray.
180.
That's Ratley in motion. Set up a screen. There's a flag down. And Cleveland's only hope on this one is that it's against the defense, which would be an automatic first down. Otherwise, 4th and 1 million. So already 3 flags on this first drive.
Illegal shift, offense. 2 players were in motion without resetting. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
So not the best of starts for the Browns, who already lead the league in penalties with 27. They had 18 against Tennessee in the opener and 9 on Monday night.
Yeah, an uncomfortable start for them. Obviously, big game. Maybe there's a few nerves out there, or maybe it's just this Rams defense that's been that good all year.
Jamie Gillan is known as the Scottish Hammer, played at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and was the special teams player of the week in the AFC, and he's going to get a big break here. Matson came up, looked like he was ready to make the catch or fair catch it, and instead it rolls about 15 more yards. So the Rams come out, no score in Cleveland. From the 18-yard line after that 55-yard punt, which had a 20-yard roll attached to it. Ball is handed off on first down to Todd Gurley. Gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. So Jared Goff, great year last year, led him to the Super Bowl. But take a look at that. 23-3 TD interception ratio at home. Only 11-10 on the road, and the rating is a 35.5-point difference. And here he is out on the road. Their second road game. They went to Carolina and won by 3 in the opener. 2nd down and 9. Good clean pocket, and the pass is caught at the 24-yard line. That's Cooper Kupp. Comes back from a torn ACL. He was having a great year last year. Got hurt toward the end of November. Had surgery, and boy, what a difference he makes to this team.
It's interesting how the Browns on a couple of early downs here coming out in the same defense the Patriots used in the Super Bowl. I guess why not, right?
Sure.
Worked pretty well that day. But it also is a defense that's going to put a lot of pressure on this secondary on the back end. The idea is stop the run up front and allow these pass rushers now an opportunity on 3rd down.
In the Super Bowl, the Rams were held to 3 points. 3rd and 4. Goff has time and then throws behind Robert Woods, the intended receiver. So a very quick 3-and-out. TJ Carey covering on the play. And the Rams with one of the best punters in the league, Johnny Hecker, comes in.
Now that was really interesting. You have an entirely new secondary coming out against this high-flying Rams offense. And I was wondering, would they come out, play it safe in zone defense? No, sir. Right after him. Man-to-man defense, and it worked.
Make an early statement, his Hecker. 4 times to the Pro Bowl, and a guy who can throw. Runs a lot of fakes, but don't count on one here. And sends it into the night sky. Short, and a fair catch call for on the run. And made up at the 36-yard line by Jarvis Landry. Mayfield and company back for their 2nd series next. That guy can wreck a game all by himself. Aaron Donald. 2 times in a row now the NFL Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 seasons. The only other guys to accomplish that, Lawrence Taylor and J.J. Watt. He did not have a sack last year for the first 3 games, and then he got red hot and wound up at 20.5. No sacks yet for him this season. 3-man line. That's all they rush, and the pass is incomplete. First pass intended tonight for Odell Beckham Jr. Corey Littleton, a real unsung guy, a really good player, Pro Bowler last year, covering.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting with Donald on the outside here. Now, he only lined up out there 7 times a season ago, and yet clearly the game plan is known already. They want him out there against his former teammate, Greg Robinson. The 2 tackles on the Browns have been the weak spots here, and so they are working their best against the weakest of the Browns.
And minus the starting right tackle, Chris Hubbard. Give it to Chubb, and off he goes for a nice gain. Comes up a little bit short of the first down. It will be 3rd down and 1.
You want to see how you get to be Defensive Player of the Year? Watch Donald run this play down from the backside. Really completely out of the play, swims over. Okay, let me go get back in the mix. There you go. Front side, backside pressure. People say he has no sacks. He's off to a bad start. You haven't watched him.
Holds off a first down, at least for the moment. 3rd down and 1.
Whoa.
And look out, and there he is again.
Oh, what a move.
Already starting to wreck the game. So he stops him a yard short, and then he throws him for a loss here. And in comes the punting group for the 2nd time.
Now, Joel Bitonio is their best on Cleveland. Watch this wiggle. This is like a scat back going upfield. Little wiggle right over the top, 4 yards deep in the backfield. Wow.
Jamie Gillen, the rookie, to send it down to Natson. That first punt of his, 55 with a 20-yard roll. An angled kick toward the sideline and takes a decent bounce. And they will bring it back and spot it at around the 15-yard line, where the Rams take over with 9:04 remaining in the first quarter. 99 already making his presence very much felt. First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, very appropriately named tonight. Place is buzzing, has been for a couple of hours. Their Browns 1-1 coming in against the Rams 2-0. Rams start this drive off a play fake. Rolling is Goff to buy time. Throws right on the money to Brandon Cooks, but there's a penalty marker back at the 13-yard line. Already 2 penalties against Cleveland tonight and 1 that was declined.
Before the pass, holding. Defense number 35. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is first down.
That's Jermaine Whitehead.
Good decision here by Sean McVay. Watch him snap out of the huddle. Why do you do that? They have 4 new members of the secondary, and their star middle linebacker is missing. So you come up, don't let that young defense that hasn't played together a lot try and figure out exactly what they're seeing.
From the 32-yard line. Rams line up as they do very often in a very tight formation. Give it to Gurley. Breaks the tackle to the 35. And let's take a look at the Rams starters.
Jared Goff, Cal Berkeley.
Todd Gurley, Georgia.
Cooper Kupp, Eastern Washington.
Brandon Cooks, Oregon State.
Robert Woods, Southern Cal.
Gerald Everett, South Alabama.
Andrew Whitworth, LSU.
Joe Noteboom, TCU. Brian Allen, Michigan State. Jamil Denby, UMaine.
Rob Havenstein, Wisconsin.
Go without a huddle, and the pass is incomplete off the fingertips of Robert Woods, which will make it 3rd down and 7 for Los Angeles.
Anytime you watch the Rams play, what they try to do is to marry their passing game exactly to the running game. So the run we just saw to the left side, they do it again this time to the right side and go play action pass up of it. That has been the key for so long to the Shanahan offense, McVay offense. You go right down the line, and the Rams do it great.
3rd and 7. Rams initially went 5 wide here. Now that Gurley comes back into the backfield. They flare him out. Goff to the right side, fires on the money again to Brandon Cooks. 6th year out of Oregon State. Started with New Orleans, then went to New England, and now a Ram. Been to the Super Bowl the last 2 years without a trophy.
Well, if this front 4 for the Cleveland Browns does not get pressure better than this, they're going to lose the game. Right now, this game is really in the hands of the defensive front 4. That is the strength of the Cleveland Browns. And to date, in this season, the weakness of the Rams has been up front.
And there, Aaron Donald, of course, is Myles Garrett. Haven't called his name yet tonight. That's fired and off the fingertips and incomplete. Brandon Cooks. Let's take a look at that Cleveland defense.
Olivier Vernon, American Senior High School.
Larry Ogunjobi, Charlotte. Sheldon Richardson, Mizzou. Myles Garrett, Texas A&M.
Matt Wilson, Alabama.
Joe Schobert, Wisconsin.
TJ Carey, Ohio.
Terrence Mitchell, Oregon.
Jermaine Whitehead, Greenwood, Mississippi.
Justin Burris, North Carolina State.
Eric Murray, Minnesota.
Of course, we detailed it. Michelle did it at the top. Secondary that needs, hello, my name is name tags. 2nd down and 10. Inside handoff. And that is Gurley, but he'll be stopped at the 45. You know, in the NBA, there's a phrase called load management where guys play like 60 games and take a few games off. Same thing with Gurley. He's got that the knee issue that bothered him at the end of last year. He was hurt in college, maybe a little arthritis as well. So they've got to really spot him and not overuse him.
Yeah, as far as just a pure runner, Malcolm Brown does every bit the job really that Todd Gurley does running the football. But when you get into the screen game, the passing game, that is where Gurley becomes really valuable.
He's been in on every play tonight. They flank him out here to the right side on 3rd and 5, and Los Angeles will take a timeout.
First charge timeout, Los Angeles. 30 seconds.
So with Gurley, who was a workhorse, a stud early in his career, since 2018, beginning of last season, first 14 games, 23 touches per game, but the last 5 games, going back to last season's postseason as well, in the first 2 games this year, just 14 touches a game, runs and receptions. And boy, when he gets the ball on a pass, I mean, nobody's better at yards after the catch out of the backfield than he is.
Yeah, and you just have to wonder what this Rams team might have looked like in the Super Bowl if Gurley was completely healthy, if Cooper Kupp was there, how much they missed him during that playoff run as well.
Steve Wilks is the defensive coordinator for the Browns. Last year, 1 year as the head coach at Arizona that didn't work out, so he comes here on Freddie Kitchens' staff. Play clock at 1. Goff throws into a ton of traffic and somehow, some way threads it to Cooper Kupp. That's enough for a first down. Got 6.
Yeah, that would have been a penalty, but for Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp recognized that on the far side of the field, Brandon Cooks was not on the line of scrimmage, and he needed to be. They talk about Kupp as being this guy who's like having an extra quarterback on the field. Watch him here. Anyway, waved him up just before that happened and kept a play legal that would have been called back.
That's McVay. He designs passing plays about as well as anybody these days. On the 39-yard line, nothing doing there. That is Todd Gurley, stopped for no gain. So Gurley tonight has already carried the ball 4 times for a total of 9 yards.
Yeah, and we saw Joe Schobert over there making the tackle. He has really had to carry the load. Baker Mayfield on the sideline, and he's going, I think he wants to see the show. You know, if you're the opposing quarterback, you see an offense like this, you just want to enjoy it.
2nd and 9, set up a screen, and this time it is Gerald Everett who's the tight end, and he picks up about 4. Mack Wilson makes the tackle. Tyler Higbee is the Rams' #1 tight end, but he's back home. He's injured. Hope to have him back next week, so Everett takes over.
Yeah, and Everett played really well last week, and not just as a receiver, as a blocker as well. And so, believe me, here's a guy that was a 2nd-round pick. He is not short on talent.
3rd down and 5. Five minutes to go in the opening quarter. You hear the barking. Play clock was at 1, and there's nothing happening there. That gets broken up by Mitchell. Cooper Kupp made the catch, but Mitchell was right there to corral him. It's 4th down.
Here's what happened when you go 6 across the board here. This center's got to turn one way or another, so there just isn't enough to block here. Once you fill all the gaps, somebody is going to be turned loose, and that time it was Olivier Vernon, and they get off the field.
Greg Zuerlein will attempt a 53-yard field goal. It was Zuerlein last year in overtime in New Orleans who put the Rams into the Super Bowl with a 57-yarder. From 53, and it draws beautifully right down the middle with 4:06 to go in the opening quarter. Rams on top, leading 3-0 in Cleveland. Look over the shoulder of Sean McVay. 3-0 Los Angeles. Zuerlein will banged this one through the end zone. So his second touchback to go along with the field goal. So Baker Mayfield is the #1 overall pick in the 2018 draft. Talking to him the other day about a variety of things and when he was drafted. And remember back when Brett Favre was drafted back in 1991 by the Atlanta Falcons. There he is channeling Favre all those years later. Same pose. He loved Brett too.
Yeah, said it was his favorite player. Where he said, you know, who do you sort of model yourself after in the way you play the game? He said, no question, Brett Favre was my favorite player.
Chubb. And nice run by Chubb as he takes it for a gain of 12 around the left side. Got to meet him. Neither of us knew him.
Yeah.
At least we haven't done too many Cleveland games.
No, we haven't. But I was wondering, you know, I kind of walked in the room and I wasn't real sure, you know, he kind of has this reputation and was I going to like him or not? But the reason I liked him is he's a pure football guy. You can tell, a little like Brett. You know, Brett could have some humor and do all this stuff. But you knew that Brett in his heart was all football.
Yeah, Baker's got a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence. Resolute, he's driven. He drives that one into the arms of Beckham for a first down up at the 49-yard line.
Baker Mayfield knows how to throw those RPOs. So start one way, the linebacker leans just a little bit. And that guy right there, Odell Beckham, the best in the National Football League since he came in the league at running those slants. Always dangerous.
Now you got an empty backfield, and you got jumping across the line is Sebastian Joseph Day. First-year guy out of Rutgers.
Encroachment. Defense number 69. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Yeah, but this doesn't happen by accident either, though. You've got Baker Mayfield out there who realizes the mismatch in this game is the Rams' defensive line against his offensive line. So what's he doing? Already a lot of bootlegs. Let's get out of there. Let's hard count. Get him to jump off sides there. He's working it.
4 wide here on a first down and 5. Play fake right on the money. Beckham to the 34. Odell, of course, with the Giants so many years, had that 89-yard touchdown reception in his old stopping grounds last Monday night.
Just reading Johnson right there. If he sits still, then he's going to hand off. If not, he's throwing that slant in behind. So always a tough position for that dime linebacker to be.
No huddle here.
Hey, go 43, 43.
And the ball off to Chubb. And he gets stacked up after a short gain. Aaron Donald, of course, is in the middle of the fray. Gain of 2, second down and 8.
I'll tell you, I like Nick Chubb and obviously like Aaron Donald as well. But Nick Chubb really has become one of those guys. He's not flashy, Al. You know what I mean? He's not one of those speedsters, a lot of moves, but he has tremendous balance. He breaks a ton of tackles, was just one off the NFL lead a season ago with 44 forced missed tackles. So he is a guy that knows how to stay on his feet, and you have to have a big guy tackle him to get him on the ground.
Give it to him again, and he's a little short of the first down. Played his college ball at Georgia. He came into Athens when Todd Gurley was wrapping up his college career, and Sony Michel, now with New England, was also there at the same time. Pretty good trio of backs.
No, that's a lot of flashy Georgia running backs around here. We saw a little bit of that against Notre Dame over the weekend as well.
Third down and 1.
4 down, 58.
Kitchens calls the plays. Don Monken is the offensive coordinator, and let's see what he sends in here in the final minute of the first quarter. Calls it for Chubb again, and that will move the sticks. It's a good looking drive here as they move from their own 25-yard line. Run 4 running plays, 2 passing plays to get it down to the 23 against Wade Phillips' defense. The Rams defensive coordinator.
If you ever get a chance to have a cup of coffee with Wade Phillips,
the best.
Do not pass it up. He is one interesting guy. He's a football historian, and he has more stories about football than anybody I know.
Best homilies ever. side, Beckham. And he'll get wrestled down by Fowler, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter, with the Rams leading the Browns 3-0. Sunday Night Football from Cleveland, back after these messages. Second and 5 as we start the second frame from the 18-yard line. And Mayfield gets it off to Chubb. Flag is thrown. For the moment, he gets the ball to the 9-yard line, tackled there by John Johnson. Referee Sean Smith.
Pass interference, offense number 86. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Called out on the tight end, Pharaoh Brown.
Pharaoh Brown here, who's getting the start this evening. A lot of two-tight end stuff. The ball wasn't even close to being thrown at the point he's just driving Marcus Peters down the field. Just a little lack of experience there.
So 30 penalties. Njoku, the regular tight end David Njoku, is hurt. He's also on injured reserve now, so they won't see him until at least November. So a little short at that spot too. Second down and 15 back at the 28-yard line. Off play action that buys a ton of time, and then it's caught at the 15-yard line. Catch made there by Ricky Seals-Jones, another of the tight ends.
Yeah, working against Corey Littleton, definitely the best of the cover linebackers down the field right here. There was some question who is going to be the guy to replace and become that next third element without Njoku. But really, Ricky Seals-Jones, there's a guy that was a wide receiver, a 5-star recruit in college at Texas A&M. So he fits in very nicely to that role.
Was with the Cardinals, and Freddie Kitchens was there as an assistant coach for 11 seasons. Fake to Chubb, pass caught, 10-yard line. That'll be a first down and goal. Catch is made there by Damian Ratley, second-year man out of Texas A&M, first and goal.
You know, I've got to say I love what Freddie Kitchens is doing here. This has been one of those offensive sets as McVay looks on the other side trying to figure out how to stop this. But they are not letting this Rams pass rush get going. Everything is play action, quick throws, quick slants, get the ball in your hands, screens. They're protecting this offensive line beautifully.
Bunch the three receivers to the right. First down and goal. 10th play of the drive is a run by Chubb to the 7-yard line. Second down and goal a couple of minutes into the second quarter.
The other thing this does, Al, and this was really important to the Browns here tonight, Freddie Kitchens knew exactly what was going on in his own secondary, right? So on offense, how do you offset that? How do you protect your own secondary that has been completely redone by doing this? You just keep the football away from that great offense.
Win the time of possession battle. Right now they've had it 10.5 minutes, and the Rams have had it 6.5. Second and goal.
180.
Chubb to the 5. John Johnson pops him there, the safety. So it'll be third down and goal. Heavy workload for Chubb. He's carried the ball 9 times to 36 yards. That's 4 per pop.
The interesting thing about watching Aaron Donald is that he goes the wrong way almost half the time. Anytime you see Donald, you go, oh, he's not reading that right. He's going behind, but he's going behind because he can still catch it from behind.
Almost got him there. Third and goal. The receivers all set to the right side. Mayfield looks left. Mayfield under pressure, avoids a sack for the moment, then throws incomplete. Beckham was the intended receiver, double covered. It was Michael Brockers, number 90, put the pressure on that time, and it's fourth down.
Well, it's a long drive, and then there was a double team. And the bizarre thing about Aaron Donald is he gets this all the time. I mean, it's amazing how many times he's double teamed, and yet he got 10 sacks a season ago off of double teams. That's a career year for most guys.
Crazy. 23-yard chip shot here for Austin Seibert. Austin Seibert for the 23-yarder, and the kick is good. So Seibert bangs it through, and it's It's 3-3 in Cleveland. Kickoff will be taken a couple of yards deep by JoJo Natson for a touchback. Sean McVay, third year Rams offense since he took over, 31.2 points per game, number one, 391 yards per game. That's third best in the NFL. 30-point games under McVay, 22. And a little cacophony comes in here with previous 10 seasons, 17 in 10 years, and Sean's done it more than that in 2 seasons plus 2 games.
The boy wonder for sure.
Oh yeah, everybody wants to find the next Sean McVay if you're looking for a coach. And that's Gurley taken down behind the line of scrimmage. TJ Carey comes up from the corner to knock him down. Second down.
You want to know what the Patriots did in the Super Bowl against the Rams? Here they go. 3 here, 3 on this side, 1 in the middle, and 4 DBs across the back end of this thing, basically daring the Rams to run those outside run plays. They're going to take that away because in so many ways the play action off of that is the core of this offense.
On 2nd and 10. 4-man rush to the outside. The pass is caught along the sideline by Robert Woods, and that will be a yard shy of the first down. So Robert Woods, they've got 3 great receivers in Woods and Kupp and Brandon Cooks. Woods started in Buffalo, spent 4 years there, went to the University of Southern California, so he comes home, gets to play in the Coliseum until they opened the new stadium last year. 2nd-round pick by the Bills. 10 receptions and 2 carries in the first couple of games, and use him on the jet sweep a lot and to run with it once in a while. 3rd and 1. Play action, buys time, fires wide open. Cooper Kupp, and he'll take the ball into Browns territory and fights for more yardage to the 43-yard line before Terrence Mitchell is able to corral him.
Here's what happens when you have a great play caller. 3rd and a short 1. Watch these linebackers jump all over this, and then you're wide open on the back end. That's the reason you take risks, because you get wide open receivers like that in key moments.
At the Cleveland 44-yard line.
Driving up.
Look out. Goff is able to step away, throws too high. Woods was the intended receiver, well covered on the play. 2nd down and 10. Quiet night for Myles Garrett, who was the #1 pick a couple of years ago. Terrific defensive lineman, led the NFL with 5 sacks through the first 2 weeks.
How surprised were you to meet him as well?
Very much so.
Very quiet, kind of humble guy, and almost embarrassed by some of the penalties he's had already this season. But it is all fair game, as he says, once you get onto the football field. He is coming after the quarterback, but clearly not a guy at all. A bit of a pacifist, his own description.
Very thoughtful man, but he's over $50,000 lighter with the fines he's gotten, and that's dropped uncharacteristically by Cooper Kupp. Had it in his hands, couldn't corral it. 3rd down and 10.
Well, here you have a fabulous matchup on the outside. Andrew Whitworth, who has been one of the great offensive linemen for a long time, 37 years old, going against Myles Garrett, leads the league in sacks, and just 23 years old. And really, the way this offensive line is set up right now, Whitworth has to win one-on-one so they can slide and help those other offensive linemen.
3rd down and 10. Goff spins away, fires up in the air, and it's going to be dropped, almost intercepted. Mack Wilson went to the ground, couldn't hold on. 4th down.
Wow, they are coming. Steve Wilks is bringing everybody. They're going to bring 7 out of here and just straight cover 0 on the back end. They're just going to go get Goff. He makes a great move to get out of there, but really nobody was open, and almost an interception. Great play by Whitehead down the field.
4th down. You've got Hecker into punt. And the Rams, are they going to challenge interference here? When you looked at that again, that could be, McVay, that could be what he challenges.
Los Angeles is challenging the ruling on the field that there was defensive pass interference. We'll review the play.
I mean, that's the only thing to challenge. And take another look. Get the result when we come back. Well, the ruling is the call on the field stands. There is no interference. The Rams charged with a timeout, but also a challenge, which means they only have one for the rest of the game, and it's 4th down. With 9.5, and the Rams will now punt with Johnny Hecker to send it down toward Jarvis Landry. Landry's going to let it go, and it will be scooped up at about the 6-yard line. Mayfield's got to get rid of it, and he does. Caught by Chubb at the 11-yard line. Corey Littleton makes the tackle. Make it 2nd down and 5.
Well, you always get a little nervous when the quarterback's back there pump faking like that, because a hold back in the end zone, and that's it. That's a safety.
Second down and 5.
Hey,
Beckham wearing that clear visor
52.
tonight. Remember, he had the tin visor last week, and they took him out of the game for a couple of plays, or one play anyway. This is Nick Chubb. Beckham traded over here, and he said he didn't think that was a business decision. He thought it was personal.
Yeah, by the Giants.
Right.
Saying that basically they were mad, and they sent him here to die, is sort of how he phrased it. And all of a sudden he started looking around, and there's his buddy Jarvis Landry, and there's Nick Chubb, and there's Baker Mayfield, and there's some pretty good football players here, and I think he's happy. I will say the thing that I was most impressed with in our conversation, there was a little bit of peace within him. He just seemed like he was settled in and happy in Cleveland.
And loves being back with his buddy Landry, who he's known since high school. Mayfield chase. That's Donald chasing him, and fires deep downfield and incomplete. Intended for Landry. Well, talking about Beckham being sent to Cleveland to die, in his words. And it was Landry who was told by Adam Gase, either you shape up or we're going to send you to Cleveland.
Yeah, it's like getting thrown in the briar patch, isn't it? Come here, and it's that's exactly where I wanted to go.
Remember 25 years ago, everybody would threaten you to be sent to Green Bay. And then Reggie White changed that forever.
Yeah, he chose to go there, and world championships followed.
Williams kick. Fielded up at the 48-yard line, and not fair caught. And Matson will get taken down as he crosses the 50-yard line, and a flag is down. Back at the Rams' 35-yard line. Not too many run backs without a penalty, that's for sure.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 31. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. Los Angeles keeps the ball, 1st down, timeout.
Darius Williams, halfway through the second quarter, 3-3. This drive starts, a little sweep for Woods, but that is sniffed out very nicely by Schobert and Vernon. 2nd down.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons that we've seen the Rams struggle so far in this half is they just have not been able to get the running game going. Todd Gurley, 5 carries for 10 yards. This jet sweep, very much a staple. But if you don't let the Rams get outside of you, a lot of that stuff they like out of the passing game, the stretch, the play action, the bootleg, none of that really gets going unless you start running the ball.
Malcolm Brown is the running back. Gurley gets a rest. Fake to him. Fired over the middle, and that is hauled in by Gerald Everett, the tight end, who backs up at forward progress. Will net him a first down at about the midfield stripe.
Get a chance to see Joe Schobert here and the impact of play action. Watch him step up here as this play action comes right at him, and then here comes the tight end right behind him.
Rams go no huddle. Fired over the middle and threading it to Robert Woods at the 32-yard line. So the Rams again coming up without a huddle. That one was good for a gain of 18.
How good is Robert Woods? Just a complete player. He's such a good blocker. They gave him the same present that they gave the offensive line last year.
Fake to Brown, a roll to the right, caught here by Cooper Kupp. And he gets stopped there for a gain of about 7. Second down and 3.
You know, we mentioned it just a little bit briefly, but Cooper Kupp is that other quarterback on the field. And I tell you, in those key third down situations and big moments of the game, when Cooper Kupp was not on the field with Jared Goff last year, there was definitely a little more hesitancy out of Goff. This guy understands defenses. He knows where the holes are in the zones, and it really made a difference when he went out for the Rams last year.
Torn ACL operated on by Doc Eletrage out in LA. Comes back 100% this year, and Goff is going to get sacked by Larry Ogunjobi, number 65. Had a quiet first half until now. He knocks him down for a sack there of 8 yards.
Now there's just been a couple of miscommunications up front so far here. When you get centers going that way and the rest of the line going that way, that makes it a little too easy for Ogunjobi, who really has had a very nice start to this season. He's an impressive guy on the nose.
Crowd roaring on a 3rd down and 11. Flip it out. And we stop at the 30-yard line. Brandon Cooks is there. And that'll bring on Zuerlein and his gang for roughly a 48-yard attempt.
Well, you know it's coming. If you're going to show all this pressure right up the gut the way that they are, you know they're going to flip these screen passes out here to the outside. But if you're prepared on the outside and it's 3rd down and 11, so be it, right? You can almost anticipate they didn't care they had that covered too.
48-yard attempt. He's already made one from 53 and made it by plenty. And that one's no good. Left it out to the right. Back in 30 seconds. 3-3 in Cleveland. The Rams have only scored 1 first-half touchdown this season, and that on opening day late in the first half against Carolina. Cleveland has 100 yards tonight of total offense, and the Rams have 120. After the missed field goal, they start from the 38-yard line. And Mayfield over the middle, a wide open Jarvis Landry for a big gain to the 36-yard line. Jarvis Landry, his 2nd catch of the night, good for 26 yards.
Got a lurk right there from John Johnson, and he almost had it. I'm not sure Baker ever saw him. Just a slight hesitation, and Baker quick enough to get that one in there.
Mayfield 9 of 13 for 88 yards. Pass is incomplete. Pressure started to get to him. That was Dante Fowler, came over from Jacksonville last year on the outside. 2nd down and 10.
I think Dante Fowler's had the best start really of any of the Rams defenders out here this season. He has just been all over the place, and his effort has been relentless. Of course, he made that huge play in the championship game against Drew Brees, leading that interception. So he has been exactly where he was leaving off a season ago.
2nd and 10. And getting corralled at the line of scrimmage there, Chubb. And that's Fowler right there again, number 56. 3rd and long.
It's kind of been a strange game here. Robinson comes down, and you know Fowler with his speed and quickness on that play, you can't just leave him unblocked. Been a few strange things going on with these offensive lines tonight.
Score is a little strange. You didn't count on 3-3, did you?
No.
Didn't we have 3-3 what, last week?
A couple of weeks.
Yes, every week. 3rd and 9. Take your pick. Everybody moving.
There's definitely movement by the Browns.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Right guard Eric Kush.
You know, and it's just those little things that are so maddening, because then the quarterback, Baker, will get back in the huddle and go, hey, man, I'm doing these hard counts so those guys can't get the pass rush going against you, and you're jumping offside. You want me to stop doing it? You can imagine some of the conversations that happen in huddles after those plays.
Mentioned the most penalized team in the NFL coming in, 4 more tonight, on top of 27 in the first 2 games. 3rd and 14. Mayfield fires deep downfield and almost caught, but incomplete. Landry right there. Good coverage by Nickel Roby-Coleman, who will go down in history, of course, as the man who should have been called for pass interference in New Orleans and was not.
Well, this is a tremendous play. How many times have we seen Jarvis Landry come down with this ball right here? And yet it was Roby-Coleman who got his hands up between the arms and able to knock that one away. That was a disappointing drive. They were down, looked like certainly in scoring position, and came away with nothing.
Jamie Gillen. Nose down punt. Fielded at the 12-yard line by Natson. Freddie Kitchens, who is he? Surprised everybody. Well, Gene Stallings at Alabama, Nick Saban at LSU, Parcells on his staff, Ken Whisenhunt and Bruce Arians. He was in Arizona for 11 years. So funny, we were talking about how he got the job. He was the last guy interviewed, the offensive coordinator. So who does he call for a little advice at the end of the day? He calls Bill Parcells.
Everybody calls Bill Parcells.
He's the coach whisperer, isn't he?
He is. He was a quarterback at Alabama, and a good one. He was the player of the year in Alabama. And oh, by the way, Sean McVay was player of the year in Georgia, right?
High school.
Yeah.
Right. Goff throws, caught. 18-yard line. Cooper Kupp makes the catch there. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning, coming at 1:57 to the half. 3-3. From the 18-yard line, Todd Gurley back in the game. And Goff fires. And then will be caught by Brandon Cooks up at the 23-yard line. Clay Matthews Jr. Remember, his father played in the NFL. His son is playing tonight. He's going to be honored, his name up in the Ring of Honor at halftime here. Goff fires, caught, and that'll move the sticks as Robert Woods makes the catch. Rams have 1 timeout as they hustle up to the line of scrimmage, which is the 36, and there is the 3rd. Clay the 3rd. Of course, Uncle Bruce, cousin Jake. What a legacy with that family. And that pass is incomplete. Intended for Woods. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
You know, these 2 defensive coordinators have really done a fabulous job so far in this game. And the one thing that Steve Wilks has done, there's Wade Phillips on the Rams sideline. Steve Wilks, you can tell, because a lot of the conversation is about Jared Goff gets the call very late from Sean McVay, and they make the adjustments and they get to the line of scrimmage. Well, what he's doing is he's waiting until that play clock gets down under 15 and then making some late moves of his own.
Second and 10. Good pocket that time. Caught. And getting spun down. Cooper Kupp. Tackle made there by Juston Burris. Under a minute now to the half. 3rd and 5. Oh yeah. Action on the right side. That's Jamil Demby. Their regular right guard Austin Blythe is hurt, so he's inactive tonight. Demby came in, did a good job last week in the New Orleans game, and he's, I'm pretty sure, the recipient of this flag.
False start. Offense number 64. The foul occurred under 2 minutes. By rule, this requires a 10-second runoff. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 37 seconds. The clock will start on my whistle.
Yep, so it's a runoff, a 10-second runoff, which is why the clock goes to 37. Of course, if the Rams don't make it, Cleveland figures to take a defensive timeout. They've got all 3 timeouts. Try to do something at the end of the half. 3rd and 10.
Let's see. 2 deep safeties down the field. They're staying with that all the way across the line of scrimmage. So all these gaps are filled in here, which creates problems. So they bring Gurley up into the gap to prevent this blitz from hurting him the way that it has in the past.
Said they rush 4. Goff, look out. The arm coming forward or not. For the moment, it's a live football. And it's Schobert with the recovery. Ruled a fumble on the field with 18 seconds. Here comes another look.
I think that was Myles Garrett, wasn't it?
Yep.
Garrett does just enough, and that is definitely a fumble. No question about it. So no impact at all in the first half until it matters most, and just enough. Where the Browns have just hung in here and hung in here, played their style of game, not to put too much pressure on that young defensive backfield. And now here they are with a chance to take the lead late.
They want more than a field goal. The ball's at the 17. They have all of their timeouts. Not that they'll get to use them with 18 seconds, but they'll line it up at the 17-yard line. Mayfield escapes and then just throws it away, and that took 6 seconds off the clock, down to a dozen.
Let's take a look back at Myles Garrett and what he was able to do on this rush. Kind of late pressure, the way he bends, he's really remarkable. I've seen him just do some remarkable things on tape where he can contort his body and be in the weirdest position and still running full speed. I don't know how he does it.
And a Texas A&M #1 pick overall back in 17. 2nd and 10 and a whistle before Aaron Donald gets to him. Timeout called.
First charge,
by Cleveland.
timeout, Cleveland, 30 seconds.
Here's Garrett.
Well, Myles Garrett clearly has been one of the dominant forces in the game among all the edge rushers. He has the most sacks since the beginning of 2018. And on the downside, as he hangs his head a bit in that frame, he also has 17 penalties. But when you're hitting the quarterback that often, that also means you're close a lot of times, and with the way they protect quarterback, maybe it's just inevitable.
And the Trevor Siemian season in the Jets game the other night in the Meadowlands.
I tell you, Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham are so good when you just throw that ball up and give them a chance. But these corners for the Rams are equally as good, and now they swing a safety over the top of those 2 guys.
Landry and Beckham both split to the right side on a 2nd down and 10. Mayfield throwing, and that's incomplete. Landry looks for a flag. There is none. Aqib Talib coverage, and it's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, that's what makes the Rams so tough there. That looked for all the world like man coverage. Baker Mayfield was not wrong for reading it that way. And yet at the last second, you saw the corner at the top of the screen fall underneath this thing and really almost had a chance to pick it off. That's what Wade Phillips does. He disguises defenses so well. I sit there sometimes and I watch him a step, 2 steps of the quarterback going back, and I still don't know what it is.
3 receivers set to the right, and now Cleveland will take another timeout.
Second charge timeout.
Look at that defense of Freddie Kitchens will bring him over.
It's like an NBA final 20 seconds.
Right.
It's been good football, though. I mean, it really has been. You know the quality of the offensive players on the field out here, and really you know what's going on defensively. Wade Phillips, what he did in the Super Bowl was remarkable. You know, he gives up the 1 play at the end of the game to Gronk. Really, that was the difference in the entire Super Bowl. But he really has guys, and as he likes to say, you give me smart guys, we'll get better. He has a lot of smart guys playing defense on this team right now.
And major kudos to Steve Wilks on the other side, whose defense has limited the Rams to 3 points. 8 seconds. 3rd down 10. Rush 4 again, and that pass may have been knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It was Clay Matthews coming in, so 4th down and 10, 4 seconds, and they're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Just take a look to make sure that this thing, in fact, there's Matthews on the outside. He might sneak out at halftime to watch Papa a little bit. And I don't think there's any question, right, that that was a pass and not a fumble. Yeah. You kind of saw Matthews coming and almost just threw it in the dirt.
So a 35-yard attempt. Austin Seibert, a rookie from Oklahoma. And that one is down the middle as time expires. Halftime, 6-3. And off we go in the second half. And the Rams will bring it out to the 25-yard line. We go to Michelle.
I spoke to Freddie Kitchens at halftime, and he was pretty proud of his defense, in particular those replacement players who have had to come in. He said, look, we're not here just to show up. Everyone who suited up tonight knew the plan. We had to play together, and we believe in each other. We're here to win. And Sean McVay credited the Browns defense, saying they've kept him out of the end zone. We've got to run the ball. We haven't been able to do that. And he's hoping to make second half adjustments just like he did last week against New Orleans, Al.
All right, Michelle, so Gurley talking about that run game. 5 attempts, 10 yards. Can they get the run game started? Not a bad beginning right there. Gain of close to 8 as Gurley goes over the left side. This season, in the first half of games, the 2.5 games, 16 drives, 1 touchdown, 5 field goals, 2 turnovers. Very un-McVay-like.
Well, and the entire interior of this offensive line has been turned over. Noteboom, Allen, and because of the injury to Blythe, Denby in there at the right guard position. So it's a coordinated effort up front, too.
And the run game gets off to a very good start here in the 3rd quarter as Gurley takes it again. That time a gain of 8, and that's a 1st down.
Yeah, and it's really going to be one of those games now that these wide receivers and the way that they block may become a huge factor. I don't think there is a team in the NFL whose wide receivers have a bigger role.
Going no huddle, clean pocket, fires open, makes the catch along the sidelines. Brandon Cooks moving the ball into Cleveland territory to the 41-yard line.
So what happens? They have 2 good runs to start this drive, and now you come out and you go play action. You do this little half roll back the other way and throw it to Cooks. You get Cooks out there running 4-3-3, and what a catch he made last week against the Saints on a bomb. You have to give him some room out there to operate.
5 grabs for him tonight, averaging 12 yards per reception from the 41-yard line. Hole closes quickly there, but after a gain of about 6, Ogunjobi making the tackle. It'll be second down. Let's call it 5.
And here's Noteboom and Allen over here working in combination down and then back up to the other level here. But all these blocks, they don't just happen. I mean, this is something that the Rams offensive line over the past couple years, they did thousands of times, right? So now you have a new group in there and you get it coordinated, then the back has to figure it out. They will.
2 minutes into the half. Second down and 5. Kupp goes in motion. Under pressure, he gets it away, caught at the 20-yard line. Good first drive here. Cooks making the catch, so they have run now 5 plays for a quick 55 yards.
Yeah, you don't get pressure out here, and then you get the pressure going up inside. So now Whitworth takes the little safety on the outside instead of taking Olivier Vernon.
You know, for a team that scores so much, it's amazing how tight their formations are.
It all ties together. I'll show you in a minute.
Yep.
They'll do it.
And that pass is better served that he didn't make the catch. Second down and 10.
Yeah, so that time they fake it that way, bootleg away, and then throw the screen back to it. It's a play that worked for him a week ago. But it's not like it's some, oh my gosh, how do you do this kind of stuff? But he just does such an incredible job. So did Kyle Shanahan, of tying it together, of when the run works, then what do we do off of that? How will the defense respond? He's usually standing behind the defense, seeing what they're doing, not what his team's doing.
This time they split Gurley out, at least for the moment. Now they're going to walk him back in. On a second down and 10. And the Rams are going to take a
first charge, 30-second timeout, Los Angeles.
Cleveland, a great defensive first half, and of course, you know, playing with all the backups in the secondary. But they did a job on the Rams.
Well, they just kept filling every gap, and they were unblockable. They could always send one more, so they answered with all those quick screen passes. After a while, they got that figured out. Then you come back in, and you finally get a little pressure, a hand on them, and there you go. You're up 6-3. They need one more of those. That second down and long, if they can make one more play here and force them into a drop back situation, that's where the advantage really moves to the Browns.
So Morgan Burnett, who would be one of their starting safeties, former Green Bay Packer, Pittsburgh Steeler, but he's hurt tonight, as is every starter in that secondary. Goff has time, fires, and the catch is made. Cooper Kupp. Coverage is good, but Kupp with his hands able to snatch it out of the air for a 1st and goal.
You're going to see when you're leading the league in sacks, you're going to get a little extra attention. This time, Havenstein going to set far to the outside, and Demby's going to come back in to clean it up. But I tell you, that Cooper Kupp, he just makes catches like that all the time. All these receivers do. They're really good.
Kupp, 3rd year, played at Eastern Washington. 3rd round pick in 2017. 1st and goal. Cooks in motion. The toss to the outside. Look out. And the Browns equal to the task that time as Gurley gets taken for a loss. Eric Murray comes up to stuff from behind the line of scrimmage.
You know, Al, this game is the exact opposite of what happens against New Orleans. New Orleans really kind of stuffed them inside, and they had success outside. The Browns are stuffing them outside, and when they go inside, they've been having success, but they keep getting it away from it.
Second down goal, ball back at the 11-yard line. This is the 9th play of the drive that started back at the LA 25. Goff to the end zone, and nobody's home there. Josh Reynolds stopping at the goal line. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
They always do this down around the red zone in particular when they go that snap to the line of scrimmage, because there's so many different guys, and somebody like a Todd Gurley can just as easily line up at wide receiver as he can running back. The wide receivers line up at blocking back. I mean, it's really, they can do anything out of any formation. Watch them snap out of the huddle. See if they do it here and have a quick snap.
3rd and goal. Play clock at 2. Goff fires. It's caught for a touchdown. Cooper Kupp running an out route in the end zone, pulls it in, and that's the first touchdown of the game. 75 yards in 10 plays.
That's what makes it so tough. Cooper Kupp just beat you on an in route. Now you're in man coverage. You got to play that, and here he goes to the outside. So for the first time, really, and I think the strategy is the correct one. When you have a new secondary on the back end, what do? You go faster, make them make quicker decisions and not help each other. And that's exactly what McVay did on that drive.
Rams with the lead. Zuerlein for the point after. (10-6). Well, gang, how's that for your basic halftime adjustment? Zuerlein. Well, we're doing our Mount Rushmore thing this week for the Cleveland Browns. This was pretty easy, I have to say, even though they have so many fantastic stars. But you look at Paul Brown, you look at Otto Graham, you look at Marion Motley and Jim Brown. Well, it's hard to beat that quartet. And I mean, you got so many other guys, and there is Jim Brown. I mean, you got Paul Warfield and Ozzie Newsome, and we both agreed those were the four.
Yeah, no matter what the list is, if Jim Brown's eligible, you put him at the top, and then you sort of go from there.
Yep, and then Paul Brown, of course, founding the franchise. Motley played both ways. These Browns and Otto Graham going all the way back when this team was fantastic in the All-America Football Conference and won championships, and the Browns were one of the teams in the 50s and 60s. But since then, they're one of only 4 franchises that has not been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they should have been to 2. When you really remember what happened, of course, the drive and the fumble and all that sort of stuff. This is a proud franchise, and these football fans know the history, and they're tired of talking about history. They're ready for a little action.
Second down and 10 from the 25-yard line.
That's
big. And it's about a 5-yard pickup there for Odell Beckham.
Well, that's what they did when they got it going in the first half. That's exactly what they did. Play fake, get the ball out of your hands. In the plays in the first half, when he was under 2 seconds, 7 for 8, 69 yards. So whenever he can get this thing going, when he holds on to it, they've had almost no success whatsoever. So let's get it out to the playmakers and let them go.
Catch and release. 3rd down and 4. Rams again, rushing 4, and that is bobbled and juggled, and Damian Ratley is able to hold on to it. Tight coverage on that one as well, but with Talib there, but he's able to juggle and re-grasp.
That is almost remarkable that was completed. Talib actually hit the ball first, and somehow Ratley was able to hang on.
Hey, we're going 24. Hey, Taco. 58.
Run it, inside handoff. Chubb picks up 9 yards to the 45. Taylor Rapp, the rookie, and John Johnson make the stop.
Well, if you want to beat this Rams team, you have to find a way to stop Aaron Donald, and it is not easy. You see in slow motion, it looks so pretty, right? Let's take one look in real speed what it's like to try and block this guy. Just so quick, looks like a point guard getting around somebody. And then the hustle. That's what made him Defensive Player of the Year back-to-back. And a great guy. That's what Wade Phillips just talks about.
Chubb. Nice patience exhibited on that one. Gets to the 44-yard line. Johnson and Weddle converge on the tackle. That's a gain of 12.
One of the things they do is this same side draw where you got to have something that doesn't go like that. So they try to get this guard on the inside edge, and you can see Chubb just breaking it off. That has been one of their most consistent plays over time. You see Cush that time able to get Aaron Donald up the field, and that's one of the things they wanted to do. They want to get Donald, who wants to get up the field and trap him and wham him and do some different things to him.
Quickly, Beckham, and he cannot scoot away from Roby Coleman. Clay Matthews is also there. Short game pickup of 2, second down and 8.
But the other thing this does, Al, is it really frustrates a defense. You know, when you throw the ball in 2 seconds, there's no reason to even rush at all. It doesn't make any difference. So now psychologically, what do you do defensively? You start trying to get there faster, and a guy like Aaron Donald is not using all of his moves that he has available to him.
Second down and 8. It's one way to keep him in check. Good blocking up front. But this time Mayfield finally is going to get corralled. He had a lot of time at first. Flag is down. Where offensive holding is normally called. That will be the case as Sean Smith checks with Sean McVay to see whether he wants the penalty or the play.
Holding, offense number 78. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is third down.
As a receiver, this was the hardest coverage to try to beat. It's 2-man. They're going to have 2 safeties down the field, man underneath everywhere else. You can see people chasing all over the field. And so there really just was nowhere to go. And what we've seen so far, this offense and this passing game has been non-existent when Baker Mayfield has held the ball longer than 2.5 seconds.
That's the definition of a coverage sack, and they credit it to Matthews. He gives him 3 in 3 games. Meanwhile, a lot of blocking on the screen, and Chubb is off to the races. And Chubb will finally be taken out of bounds at the 15-yard line on a 3rd and 13. Beautifully executed, beautifully designed, great blocking out in front. Big gain of 31.
Now they got him. They blitzed right here, and you screen in behind it. It's just one of those, as a play caller, you pray for. They bring 4 to that side, and there's just nobody left out there. All 4 linemen, blockers out in front, and that's just stealing. So, boy, you're sick. All the great play calls you made defensively, and that one got caught.
From the 16-yard line. 5.5 to go in the quarter. Mayfield fires for the end zone, and it is broken up, and a flag is thrown. Landry, the intended receiver, you saw Troy Hill jump up in the air as if he saw the flag and it'd be called on him. And it will be defensive interference.
Pass interference, defense number 20. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball be placed at the 1-yard line, automatic first down.
Well, you can't cover it any better than Troy Hill did. Let's see how handsy he got here on the top end of the route. Not too handsy.
Ball is at the 1-yard line. Of course, you can challenge. Chances of winning it are next to 0 as Chubb gets into the end zone for a touchdown. The Browns quickly answer the Rams' opening drive of the half by going 9 plays and 75 yards. And something's going on with the officials.
Did it get challenged?
I'm wondering, you know, because you can challenge interference, which McVay already did once and lost.
Illegal shift, offense number 13, went in motion and did not reset prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
All right, so there was no challenge that didn't stop the game. They were allowed to run the play. It's Beckham who is flagged for the illegal shift, and then moves the ball back to the 6-yard line.
Well, Beckham was the X on that play, which means he's on the line of scrimmage, so he cannot be in motion. So basically what it was, yeah, you can move down, but you just got to reset and realign, and they treated him like he was in motion, and he couldn't be because there was a tackle inside of him.
So back to the 6. They empty the backfield. You got 5 receivers. Mayfield, look out, avoids the sack and then throws it away. Of course, it was Aaron Donald who got in there very close to his first sack of the season. 2nd down and goal.
It's almost hard to believe that Aaron Donald doesn't end up with 4 or 5 sacks every game. Just up the field. People can't get their hands on him. That big SWAT move of his, and that Baker somehow able to escape, but they have had 0 success now. Anytime Baker's not throwing it right when he hits his back foot. They just cannot get Aaron Donald blocked.
2nd down and goal. Give it to Chubb through the middle. He'll take the ball down to the 2-yard line. 3rd down and goal. What's your call here, Chris?
I think you have some of the quickest athletes in the world on the outside with tremendous catch radiuses. I do not like fades in the back of the end zone. That's a very low percentage throw. But if I get a chance to ever throw Odell Beckham a slant in a key moment, of course Wade Phillips knows it right now too. He may get the one-on-one. Let's see.
We get Talib on him.
Yeah, and that's just strictly one-on-one. Let's see if they somehow switch out of it though.
Far to the right. They do, and the pass is caught for a touchdown. The tight end Demetrius Harris. The Browns take the lead as the tight end, former Kansas City Chief, hauls it in with all the attention played to the right side.
You just wonder if Taylor Rapp right here is supposed to drop into some kind of zone, because Johnson goes out in a zone his way, and literally that is just a busted coverage.
Rapp, a rookie, 2nd-round choice out of Washington. The extra point by Seibert is good, and with 4.5 to go in the 3rd quarter, Cleveland Browns lead the Rams 13-10 on Sunday Night Football. So 13-10. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, first of all, watch the ball handling here. Baker Mayfield knows it's a pass. He flips the thing upside down so he can get the laces during the play fake. I've never seen that before. And then Eric Weddle came oh so close. He's a great athlete. Did everything in college, but couldn't quite get up high enough for that one. That was a good read that time by Baker Mayfield. They ended up doubling Odell on the outside. He saw it, went the other way.
Mayfield with the hands of a magician as Malcolm Brown spells Gurley and picks up 2 yards here. Sheldon Richardson makes the stop. 2nd down and 8. Gurley tonight, a couple of good runs to start the 2nd half, averaging a little less than 3 yards per carry.
But those were inside runs. See if they get back to it.
Play action, look out. Goff steps away, fires, caught. 1st down. Brandon Cooks makes the catch. Myles Garrett again put the pressure on, but Goff was some nice little dance moves side to side.
You know, people just have no idea how important those subtle moves are in the pocket. Tom Brady, he probably can't run 5.3, but he's one of the best at that stuff.
Goff dancing around. Look out, and it is intercepted. TJ Carey takes it away from Brandon Cooks. Crowd uproarious. What a pick. Will it stand? A return over review to taking a look at this. You saw the ball begin to come out. Does he have control of the ball before it hits the ground? Here it is again. Take a look. Terry, bring you in here. Terry McCauley.
Well, Al, you're right. That's the whole key. Does he get control before the ball hits the ground? It comes in there really tight. I don't think you can tell either way.
On the field of interception stands. First down, Cleveland.
Yep.
That was the right call.
Yeah, the ball became obscured in a couple of the replays. Was there enough to overturn it? The call on the field stands.
And basically, he beat Cooks to the ball. You know, it was his ball, and you couldn't see any bobble on the bottom end of it. I like the conservative nature of not overturning everything.
So, a couple of picks now. 2 turnovers for the Rams. They start this drive here with a little confusion. And that ball is loose. The ball is loose. He's trying to give it to Chubb. The Rams think they have it. Don't have a signal yet. And it's Cleveland's ball. Sean Smith comes in. Stay on pile. Messed up handoff. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, it looked like they were, I don't know. Well, that ball was definitely out. Who ends up with it? It's hard to say. Was that Chubb that ended up getting it?
58.
I mean, it looks like Chubb thought Baker was trying to hand it to him late and probably pulled it away from him.
Well, there's a Cleveland Brown at the bottom of the pile on 2nd and 11 out of the outside. And turned back in. He gets the ball into Rams territory. Chubb for a couple. 2:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. And it's 3rd down and 8 for Cleveland.
Well, this has just been simply 2 different football games for Baker Mayfield. When he can get the ball out of his hand, they look great. When he has to hold it even once for like a 1 count, they have done nothing.
He's 14 of 24 on the night, 133 yards. 3rd and 8. Mayfield fires and a little bit behind Jarvis Landry. Seemed to find an open spot there, but the ball a little behind him, and it's 4th down.
There was a little wiggle at the top of that route, and it's one of the concerns that these guys have is that Landry and Beckham, they like to do little things at the top of the route to get open, but you could tell Baker really wasn't anticipating that, and so ends up the ball is just a little off.
And that brings in Dillon for his 5th punt. Shaky punt. Short. And that goes out of bounds, and they're going to mark that one off as the official comes up the sideline, keeps going past the 20, still going all the way to the 29-yard line. Rams have it, down by 3. Big night for the Matthews family. Clay Matthews Jr., Browns linebacker, 78 through 93, played 19 seasons total, 3 with Atlanta. His name now on the Ring of Honor. He's a finalist for the Hall of Fame. His father played, and there is Clay the third playing for the Rams now, longtime Packer, coming out to surprise Dad during the ceremony. Brother Bruce in the Hall of Fame. It's an amazing family. As Brandon Cooks takes it to the 49. You know, we always talk about the Manning family, and of course the Manning family is royally. You keep forgetting about the Matthews family.
Yeah, no question about it. Clay Matthews, the father, he was the leading all-time sacker for the Browns, and of course the third ended up the all-time leading sacker for the Packers.
Granddad in San Francisco for 4 years. Brother Bruce, 19 years, Hall of Fame. Young Jake with Atlanta as Gurley picks up 5 yards, getting to the 44-yard line.
You know, this is once again that Patriot defense that they saw in the Super Bowl. But the one thing the Rams have now adjusted to, they've said, all right, we admit we can't run outside that, but we're having good success going right here. You can see how hard it would be to get outside the edges on that defense, but by tacking right at the middle linebacker, they found success.
Tight formation on the 2nd down and 5. Gurley. 2 and 1 on slip move there. Takes the ball to the 41-yard line. Lawrence makes the tackle. We talked about load management for Gurley. Tonight he has carried the ball 11 times. He's played 38 of the 47 offensive snaps, but he has not caught a pass. So just 11 rushes and no receptions yet.
I think this may be 4-down territory, so you'd have definite options here.
With Gurley now into the slot, then a bunch to the right. Just a 3-man rush, and Goff fires, and that's caught, and that's Cooper Kupp to the 20-yard line. Somehow, some way, always seemingly to get free, does here to the 20, and that will end the third quarter. And to 3, Cleveland 13, Los Angeles 10. Sunday Night Football back after these messages. Start from the 20-yard line of Cleveland here, and this is Kupp flipping it back to Woods, and Woods has blocking out in front, and Woods puts his head down and is out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Brandon Cooks helping to lead the way. Those receivers all block for each other. First and goal.
Where you're going to see everybody move in that direction and then working their way back on the double reverse. That is deadly. They do so much of that jet sweep, and that was a new wrinkle right there out of Sean McVay. Just when you think you have him wired, you don't.
First and goal, just inside the 3. Play clock at 1. Putting his head down and lunging to about the half-yard line goes Todd Gurley. Chad Thomas in on the tackle. It'll be second down and goal as McVay calls the play in. Garrett out of the game for the moment.
Yeah, they probably have bigger, stronger guys down there in the red zone, and want to give all those big guys a chance down here. They were just playing single coverage on the outside if they ever wanted to throw one to Cooks.
Instead, Goff takes it himself, and no signal yet, and now they say no, he does not get in. He needs a half-yard and gets about half of that, maybe. Third and goal.
Larry Ogunjobi right here is going to grab him around the neck at the end of this thing and pull him straight backwards, keep him out of the end zone.
Inches from the goal line. Third down. And now you've got Demby, the right guard. And it could be a false start, and will be.
Offense number 64, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Third down and 6 inches to third down and 5 yards and 6 inches.
An old veteran trick right there by Sheldon Richardson. Watch him right here. He's going to give a quick move over here like the Patriots do down on the goal line. Get you to jump, and now you're backed up.
Third and goal. Three-man bunch to the right. Pass over, then a wide open is Cooper Kupp. Comes out of that bunch. Those play designs are tremendous. Wide open. Touchdown.
I have no idea what happened to Jermaine Whitehead on that one. This wasn't a pick. It wasn't anything. He went up and took a shot at Kupp right over his head. The guy right on top of him. Watch him give him a shot, and then just sort of loses balance and unable to get back into coverage.
Zuerlein in for the extra point to try to make it a 4-point game. A couple of minutes into the fourth quarter, which he does. So back and forth we go. After it was 6-3 at the half, the pass again to Kupp, and the Rams are up 17-13. Back and forth we go, with the Rams on top 17-13. LA trying to stay unbeaten. Cleveland trying to go to 2-1, and they have a game at Baltimore next weekend.
You know, he's so brilliant. In some ways, he's a little like Aaron Rodgers because he can do everything, right? His big plays come when he gets out of the pocket, scrambles around, and makes big plays down the field. But you have to know who you're playing, too, right? And in this case, the best option is get that sucker out of there.
This is a guy who only has 16 games experience. He played the last 14 last year, 2 so far. Got Nick Chubb here. Chubb breaks free, picks up 14 yards. Having a nice night. 17 carries for 79 yards.
It just helps so much when Donald makes an inside move. Otherwise, he is a nightmare to block. But he really ran himself out of that play and gave Antonio an opportunity to get him.
Line up this time in the pistol for the first time in the game.
Hey, Brown Springer. Hey, stay on it.
Chubb behind Mayfield. Chubb has it, breaks a tackle. There's a loss of a couple into a gain of a couple. Broke away from Aaron Donald. What was it Freddie Kitchens said? They will find out who the best Georgia back is. Well, Gurley 12 for 36 tonight. Chubb 18 for 81. At least for the moment. There they are. Look at that. How's that? Sony Michel, Todd Gurley, and Chubb.
How those guys doing? RBU.
Hey,
That's where you need load management. Give everybody a shot. 2nd down and 8. Mayfield chased out. Keeps his eyes downfield. Fires. And what a catch. That's Beckham, of course. Eric Weddle. He beats Weddle on the play. He takes the ball into Rams territory.
And this dude is Spider-Man. This is a shot of a throw, but he's going to get hit right when it hits his hands and hit hard. And he doesn't even hold it in both hands. He just holds it in one hand out there.
It's crazy. Inside handoff, threading his way. Gaining a couple is Nick Chubb on carry number 19.
Yeah, it's part of the plan with Donald because when he's in that 3 gap, that outside between the guard and the tackle position, he wants to go upfield. So what do? You run a draw right inside of him. A little surprised we haven't seen him getting trapped or whammed or some of the things they talked about going into this game because it was a freight train. So just occasionally let him go and let somebody come from a different angle and get him.
180.
Play action, 2nd and 9. Slipping away, look out, gets away, flag is thrown, and the pass is out of bounds. Forced out.
Terry, did he get forced out before that ball got there?
Let's take a look.
Sure did. He had no chance. He got pushed before the ball got there.
Well, you got a false start anyway against Cleveland.
Yeah, Chris, that's pass interference.
It sure
he definitely
is.
shoves him before the ball's there.
But he already gave the signal for a false start against Cleveland at the top of the play. Now Sean Smith is checking with the other barristers. It was 2nd down and 9.
Illegal formation. Offense number 86 was covering number 88. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 3rd down.
So there's no interference call, simply the formation is flagged, and it's going to make it 3rd down and 9.
And with that offset, Terry?
It would, Chris, yes.
The best they could do is get back to right where they are.
Second and 9.
Instead, 3rd and 9, because called only one penalty.
But it would have saved him a down.
Correct. Mayfield and trying to get away is Chubb, and he can't. That's Corey Littleton right there, not letting him out of his grasp. And that's going to make it 4th down and 9.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite players to watch on tape is that guy right there, Corey Littleton. He has a way of covering backs that is just invaluable in the game right now. This screen looked like it was set. And if Cush had gotten to him and gotten him blocked, they had plenty of territory.
Well, for the moment, they're going to line up to go for it on a 4th down and 9. Will they snap it? They're just trying to draw the Rams offside. And they'll go for it on 4th and 9, and they run a draw. And Chubb is going to get stacked up by Eric Weddle. Crowd does not like that call. Rams love it. They have the ball, lead by 4, 9:14 to go. Cleveland. Two head coaches and the defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, who'd been at Carolina. Then he got the head job at Arizona that lasted only a year, and then Kitchens had left Arizona before Wilks got the job, and then brings him here a year later. Meanwhile, the Rams take over, and Malcolm Brown up to the 41-yard line. It was a call, and Chris, you talked about it, about the force out. You could have challenged that, but they would have had to put a flag down, which they didn't. But that might have made a big difference on that series.
Well, it certainly would have, because it would have been 2nd down and 9 instead of 3rd down and 9. Now you pick up 5 yards, you're at least kicking a field goal, but you're right back in it. The way it ended up, 3rd down and 9, one play, and you're out, right? Now you got to go for it on 4th.
So 2nd down and 6 now for the Rams. They toss it back to Brandon Cooks, and Cooks is able to find room to pick up the 1st down, takes it right to the midfield stripe with 8.5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter.
I tell you, Brandon Cooks makes such a huge difference on this team. What has he had now? 4 straight teams now that he's had over 1,000 yards with.
4 years.
Oh, he is a big play threat all the time.
Saints, Patriots, and now the Rams. And underneath that's dropped. Checked it down to Malcolm Brown. Myles Garrett charging in toward Goff on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Boy, Myles Garrett, when he gets knocked off on a block, he's still not knocked off. Initial contact, somebody's going to pick him up in the backfield, bounce off of that, and just, you can see him just dig back in. We've seen some footage of him jumping on boxes, holding 50-pound weights. It's crazy what he can do.
2nd down and 10. From the 50, Goff fires and contested and incomplete. Dangerous pass. Brandon Cooks is there, so is Eric Murray. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Boy, very lucky that time for Goff. He read man coverage underneath and never saw the zone. Instead, it just happened right here. He's going to stop, and he thinks it's man coverage, but it's not. And then you're going to see Murray back underneath, right underneath the ball, and just can't make the play.
Goff's already had 2 passes picked tonight. Excuse me, 1 pass picked tonight and a fumble plus 2 touchdown passes, both to Cooper Kupp. 3rd and 10. Good clean pocket, and the pass is caught along the far side by Josh Reynolds. He'd be the 4th choice right now amongst the receivers, but
charge timeout for Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
30-second charge timeout.
Wow.
So the Rams called a timeout
on the best throw of the night from Goff.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Who called that time? I guess it had to be Sean, right?
Oh, it had to be, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So McVay calls the timeout.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe throw the challenge flag. Take the timeout off the board. Man, oh man. Long time since I saw that.
I almost asked, can you do that?
Yeah, you're right. These days you can probably do anything.
Probably.
3rd and 10 at the 50. Steps away. He's going to run with the ball, and he'll be stopped at the 43, and there's another flag on the play. Took a little shot at the end there. Flag is down to the 32-yard line, so about 9 yards past where that play ended. Goff and Garrett talking about remembrances of being the #1 draft choice overall. It's a pretty exclusive club.
Very much so. I don't know really what they're discussing here.
There's 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Holding. Defense number 22, that penalty's declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 35. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They're going to call it on Whitehead. I mean, Goff took a shot and escaped a little bit. Here's the hold, which gets declined. Holding Cup. But the big penalty comes at the end of the play. Goff going down, and then Whitehead puts his shoulder into the back of his neck.
It was a good call there. You can't complain about that one. And one of the things they love about Whitehead is that he is so aggressive and so physical. It's gotten him a couple times tonight, though.
Killer right there. The play was on 3rd and 10. So now it's a first down. Reverse roll. He's so good at this. This time he slides to a stop and nobody will touch him here. But the forward progress is only 9 yards, so he's short of the first down. It'll be 2nd down and 1. 7:20 and ticking down in the 4th.
Well, here it is again. We talk about it all the time, but these pass plays and bootlegs look just like a run. Look the way he extends that ball out.
And now he gives it to Brown, and Malcolm Brown looks to be a little bit short.
Remember Peyton Manning used to talk to us about he would have somebody film him individually and every one of his ball fakes and every one of those things to make sure they looked exactly what they did when he was doing the run.
It's a 3rd down. It's a 3rd and short, and that is tipped away. Intended for Reynolds, T.J. Carey, and that's going to make it 4th down. So you've got a 4-point lead. Do you kick a field goal and make it a 7-point game, or it's 4th down a half a yard? The Rams, knowing the Rams.
Wow.
But you don't know, it's an interesting thing. McVay, for as aggressive as he is with his play calling and everything, is not that aggressive when it comes to 4th down.
Not at all. There was no doubt in my mind what he was going to do. There's no doubt in my mind what I would do with that one, though. I would go for that one.
This will be a 37-yard attempt for Zuerlein. Johnny Hekker to hold it. And that kick is close, but good. Already missed one from 48. Just does make here. It's 20-13 LA. Zuerlein on this 80-degree night as it's fielded at the 10-yard line. If it was bouncing around, there's a flag down. Normally means look out into the kicking net. Place where Odell lived in New York for a while. Damian Ratley was the guy running it back, but every time you see a flag come in as it did there, well, not every time, but only about 99.6%. It's on the receiving team.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 20. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, the wind out here is a bigger factor than what we've talked about so far. Watch how far this kick moves to the right once it gets about 10 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. I mean, it just goes dead right. And coming in the stadium and jogging around a little bit today, you could tell it's about 15, 20 miles an hour.
and swirling once you get inside the bowl. So this starts back at the 10-yard line now. The Cleveland drive with 6.5 minutes to go in regulation. Off the fake, look out, and down he goes, and sooner or later Aaron Donald was going to get a sack. There it is. First of the season for him.
So good with his hands. Watch the way that he just gets inside Bitonio and gets there, and now at the last second is going to just flip him out of the way. Once he gets up and underneath, it's one of the things with him, he's not a big guy at all. And sometimes you forget that he always has leverage, just 6'1", and usually those linemen are 6'4", 6'5", and he has a way of fighting underneath them.
Looking for breathing space here, and Shutt gives it to him. Well, Donald last year 20.5 sacks. He's actually ahead of last year's pace. He had none in the first 3 games, and all of them came in the last 13. And tonight he gets one in game number 3.
That was a good bet that he was going to get one
sooner, yes,
in 2019.
So it's 3rd down and 10.
Beckham on the inside slot.
Mayfield, look out, he's going to go down at the 2-yard line, and that's Clay Matthews playing in front of his family. Mom and Dad looking on, and it's 4th down. So 2 big sacks on this series.
Well, you knew it was going to happen. There's Beckham on the inside slot. He was going to try and work his way all the way across the field, but no way they were giving him an opportunity. Double coverage on him. And every time Baker's had to pull that thing down tonight, bad things have happened.
6 punt for Gillum. Matson backing up, fields at the 47, and gets taken down post haste by Thomas. 4:23 left in regulation in a 7-point game on the Lake. Cleveland has all of its timeouts. Give it to Gurley to the outside. He goes, gets taken down to the 45-yard line. Terrence Mitchell makes the tackle there. Some teams elect to use the timeouts this early. Kitchens does not at this point. The Rams figure to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Well, 1st down could not have gone any better than that. And so now you're hoping that these pass rushers can start to make a difference. Let's see what support they give over here on this side. Havenstein, they're going to put a tight end this side and a wide out at the top.
2nd and 12. Goff milks the clock all the way down. Gives it to Gurley, and Gurley with a nice run to the 46 of the Browns. Vernon makes the tackle, and upcoming for the Browns defense to stop a huge 3rd down and 3.
So here's that same defense, Al, we've been talking about all night. 3 over here, and the linebackers shifted this way, which is enabling this cutback lane. So the outside plays are not there, but the inside plays have been. Good adjustment in the 2nd half by Sean.
3 minutes, 3rd down and 3. Good play fake, fires, intercepted at the 30-yard line. Picked off. Justin Burris just got here yesterday off Schobert's hands. He'd been here, he was out in Oakland for a while, came back, activated tonight, and a huge pick with 2:46 to play.
Well, let's look at Schobert right here, who's going to be the one that gets underneath this thing and gets his hands on it, thrown a little too hot for him to be able to catch it, but right off his hands. And what a remarkable story. This secondary that was cobbled together really in the last couple of days has just been brilliant out here tonight. And then Burris, who was cut by the Browns, cut by the Raiders, brought back yesterday and comes out and gives them a chance in this game.
And they have all their timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, so that's not an issue right now. From the 43. The toss. Chubb running in traffic. Littleton is there. Stops him after a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8 at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and it's interesting. They're doing the right thing, in my opinion, here. You know you're in 4-down territory the rest of the way. So your job really at this point is twofold. You've got to go score a touchdown, and you also have to milk the clock because you don't want the Rams to get the ball back. So the crowd's going a little crazy, but this is the right strategy. Plenty of time to go down the field.
A lot of things to think about, too. You get a touchdown, do you go for 2? Try to win the game? We'll see. 2nd down and 8. And Mayfield will get sacked, and a flag is down. Brockers and Ebukam are both there. Clock stops at 2:01. Flag is 4.
Illegal contact. Defense number 24. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
That's on Taylor Rapp, who's having a tough time tonight.
Let's take a look. Young rookie. He's the dime linebacker now. Key role. Smart guy. Let's see what happens to him. Right there's contact, but he kind of pushed him in the direction he wanted to go.
Good break for Cleveland, too, because the clock stopped at 2:01 instead of the 2-minute warning, so they get an extra play. It'll stop at the 2-minute warning. They have all of their timeouts. 1st down at the 50-yard line.
And it took away a sack.
He did. Mayfield chased out. Donald chasing him. And he'll fling that one halfway to Elyria as it comes down to the 2-minute warning at a $1:54 left in regulation, and a good one on Sunday night, with the Rams leading Cleveland by a score of 20-13.
Yeah, I know Baker's been under a lot of pressure, but he's got to stay in there on that one. He had time to let this thing happen. Let's take a look at what happened down the field. There's Beckham. And those zone defenses that they do such a great job of disguising what they're doing. They do a little subtle difference of that every single time. But watch Baker. There's no reason for him to leave at this point. The pocket was fine. By leaving, he actually brings Aaron Donald back into play. And it's the hardest thing in the world when you've had as much success as he's had playing on the move, especially moving to his right, which is where the Rams were totally going to play him in this game, moving to his right, to not go to it when everything's on the line. And yet, that time, there was plenty of protection to stand in the pocket.
Standings up to the minute right now in these divisions. NFC West 49ers beat Pittsburgh 3-0. Rams trying to go to 3-0. Seattle loses. In the North, Baltimore loses to Kansas City. Cleveland goes to Baltimore next week at either 2-1 or 1-2. 2nd down and 10 at the 50-yard line. And this will be against Cleveland.
Ball start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Remain 2nd down.
That's Joel Bitonio. Went to the Pro Bowl last year.
That's called the Donald factor. You know you have to get out of there quicker than you do against any player in the league, and you just can't help yourself.
24.
So it's 2nd down and 15 from the 45-yard line. Look out, breaking free. Boy, that's a dangerous pass. Bunch of white shirts, and it's incomplete. Chubb amongst a passel of Rams. So it's 3rd down and 15.
Yeah, did I mention Aaron Donald's smart too?
No.
He comes around here. He sees the running back sneak across his face, and he goes out and goes, oh, okay, you're going to run that screen thing again, huh? And he's right there. Yep. Lucky he didn't intercept it.
The whole package is number 99. Pressure on again. Mayfield fires. Caught inside the 40. That's Landry. Picks up a block and takes it to the 28-yard line. Tackled by John Johnson. 1st down. Clock running a minute and a half. Takes it to the 26. 8-yard line. 27-yard gain. Big play. Minute 18 and running from the 28-yard line. On the ground. Chubb next to nowhere at the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Well, it's one thing to run the clock all the way down, but I'm just wondering at this particular point, don't you take a timeout here?
You might after this one. 3 timeouts, still plenty. Plus that D-line, you don't want them subbing.
That's fired. That's caught. 10-yard line. Flag is down, though. Ratley makes the catch. Could this be roughing?
Well, I know Baker Mayfield went over and helped up Aaron Donald at the end of the play. I don't know if it was to say thank you or not.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 99. Half position penalty, automatic 1st down.
That was the only reason I could possibly think of why he helped him up off the ground after the beating he's given him all night. But here it is, right to the head, no question. Good call.
They'll always get the flag. Now they can take plenty of time.
3 seconds on the game clock.
Put a couple of seconds back on 43. 1st down and goal from just inside the 5-yard line. You think they'd go for 2?
They don't. I don't know why I don't. I just don't.
Spread them out. Blitz coming. Mayfield fires high, and that was all caused by the pressure that was coming from the Rams on the outside. 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, you hear us talk about a 0 blitz, and what that means is there's no safety in the middle of the field. But what that also means, there's one more guy that's blitzing, then you have blockers up there. So you have 5 blockers, and here comes 6 guys. So you have to throw it that fast.
There's Eric Weddle. Long time Charger and Raven. 2nd and goal. Landry goes in motion. 3 receivers set to the right. Mayfield going that way. That's tipped and it's incomplete. So it's 3rd down and goal with 37 seconds. Samson Ebukam was able to break it up. He scored 2 touchdowns, defensive touchdowns in the Kansas City game last year.
Ebukam. Boy, you've worked so hard to get down here. These last 4.5 yards are tough. Not much room to work.
Empty again. They go empty on a 3rd down and goal. Mayfield fires, and that is incomplete. Broken up, intended for Demetrius Harris, who scored the earlier touchdown for them. Rapp covering on the play, and it comes down to this.
It's a great play by Rapp right there. He's had a couple of bad ones, but that was a great one. 6'7", former college basketball player, and he went up and made the play. They had everything they wanted there, but Rapp was up to the challenge. Well, another Sunday night coming down to 4th down in the last play, and
why not?
Here we go.
4th and goal. So what are you going to do here? Go empty again? Yeah, I think
they
maybe,
have to go empty, and I'm more worried or more thinking about, does Wade fire with that 0 blitz one more time? That's an interesting call. I'm not so sure I wouldn't try that, something similar to what they just did. They have a 6'7", 6'6", all those tight ends out there. And yeah, that was a heck of a play there by Taylor Rapp, but he's only 6 feet tall. So if you want to play basketball, it's not a bad chance.
We saw a 0 blitz last Sunday night at the end of the game on 4th down from Jim Schwartz of Philadelphia. The next thing you know, Julio Jones is dancing into the end zone. 4th and goal. And now the
3rd and final charge timeout, Los
Rams.
Angeles. 30 seconds.
take a timeout.
You know, Al, a lot of times here, people like to match up with their back. In this case, Nick Chubb against the linebacker. But because the Rams have Corey Littleton, I would shy away from that one. I wouldn't feel good about that at all. Aqib Talib's had a great night tonight.
Yep.
When he has been out there on Beckham, he's done a fine job. Beckham in the slot on the left.
Chubb is wide to the left. 4th down. Here's your ball game. And the pass is picked off in the end zone. Johnny Johnson, who had an interception last week, will end it, and the Rams will fly home with a victory intended for Ratley. So on 4th down, the safety Johnny Johnson, the 3rd-year guy out of Boston College, with the big interception.
There's only one story to be written. When this team is not throwing the ball quickly, they don't have the tackles to be able to hold up against this kind of pass rush, and all too often it was that sort of fadeaway jumper tonight from Baker Mayfield.
And the heat put on by Fowler and by Matthews, and the Rams get it with 27 seconds. And on their way to going to a 3-0 mark and tied with the 49ers for first place in the NFC West.
The Packers, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Patriots all 3-0. It's a good game. This Cleveland Browns team is close, and that was a pretty remarkable effort given all the injuries that they had on the defensive side of the ball. But for the Rams to go on the road and come out of this place with this kind of emotion with a win, that was huge.
Wasn't easy. So the Rams come into Cleveland. The Rams born in Cleveland back in the 40s, moved to LA, then to St. Louis, then back. Come to the old stomping grounds and win the game by a score of 20-13.